Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Topic Tuesday. This wonderful Tuesday, December 2017, we're excited to have our presenter with us, Heather McCue with Richland Library, and she's with the Youth and Teen Center as service manager, and she's going to be talking with us about encouraging language and literacy through reading, library accessibility services, and deaf and hard of hearing characters and books. We've greatly appreciated our partners over the many, many years with Richland Library offering our deaf and hard of hearing families places to mingle at the library, sharing the interpreters at story time to hosting our Sign Santa just this past week. So we appreciate Heather bringing these resources with us today. And this is a part of our Topic Tuesday with South Carolina Hands and Voices in partnership with Beginnings SC to offer our family resources from presenters and professions that serve deaf and hard of hearing, even our families that offer a lens in our topic. So, Heather, we are saving the best for last to end out our 2024 season, and we will turn it over to you.
Thank you. That is so kind of you. It is so great to be here with you tonight. I have such warm and great feelings about SC Hands and Voices and being able to share story time with you all. And I'm sorry I missed the signing Santa, but I heard it was awesome. So, as Jocelyn shared, my name is Heather McCue. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm the Children and Teen Services Manager for Richland Library. So I know that our organization, your organization kind of covers the state. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Richland Library specifically, but then I'm going to talk about public libraries generally. So wherever you are in the state, you can kind of check in with your public library and see what I shared, how that might translate to what you have at your home. So at your home library. So this is our downtown library, and we're located right in the heart of Columbia on Assembly Street, and we have 13 locations. And so we are definitely an interesting library. I've worked for this library system for 20 years, and I've gotten to see it grow and change. And so we are award winning. We've won the IMLS medal. We've been the Library Journal Library of the Year. So we're really, really proud of what we're able to offer our families and our community here in the Midlands. But we're always looking for opportunities to grow and become more inclusive and more accessible. So we'll talk about that. Next slide, please. So, the way that typically most of our public libraries in the state work is they are funded by county tax dollars. So, everyone that lives in that county is entitled to a free library card. We do have some library systems that are consortium systems, and those are set up a little bit differently. But whatever county you live in, that's the public library where you should be able to get a free library card. And I encourage you to do so. There are so many resources at your library. And as the manager of the children's room likes to say, Leslie Tatro, you can own many books in your home, but you'll never own as many books as we have at the public library. And it does come down to hearing and engaging with a lot of books. That's how we grow literacy skills, and that's how we grow readers. Next slide, please. I will mention that we are late fine free at Richland Library, and a lot of our libraries in the state have gone that way when they are able to. So you just would need to check with your home library, but we're really proud of that because we're able to reduce barriers to service. And so basically that means that if you keep things 30 days beyond, you're going to get a replacement fee, but the minute you return the item to our library, it goes away. So, which I think is incredibly helpful, especially for parents, teachers, educators who are juggling a lot of things, including juggling their own families. And so it's easy for a book to get tucked under a car seat and go missing for 30 or so days or in a closet. And you find it and you're able to return it, and that fee comes off of your card magically. So, and as we said, we've got 13 locations, including our incredible community outreach team who goes everywhere that we're not able to even describe on this map, but they have some really great spots. But we try to, I think the idea is it's about every 10 miles there's a public library. And that's not true of all of our counties. Some of them you have to travel a good bit further, but I know there is outreach and there are still bookmobiles in our state. So there are lots of ways to engage with your library if you're not here in Richland County. Next slide, please. One thing that I do want to mention, and even if you don't have a library card, but you live close enough to, and you'd like to check it out, is here at Richland Library at our main library on Assembly Street, we have this incredible feature called the Education Studio. And the Education Studio um, works to grow readers. So they have decodable books. And if you're unfamiliar with decodable books, one of the things that is really great is they feature at a much higher rate than regular beginning readers books that can be broken apart to be digested, to be processed. So, you can break apart the word cat, for example, but you have those sight words like the, and they appear more frequently in regular beginning readers. And that can be hard for new readers because that means that they're having to remember so many more words as opposed to being able to use those tools to break apart the sounds and words and to understand that CAT spells cat, for example. That's one of the things that the Education Studio does. They have a wide reach. They work a lot with children with learning differences, but they also engage in multisensory instruction, which we have found to be great for every reader on their journey. They really benefit from getting all of their senses involved in the reading process. Next slide, please. Um, if any of you have teens, again, and if you want to come and explore the Teen Center, we have this incredible, vibrant Teen Center that has a ping pong table, a maker space, a gaming center, and things like that. And, sometimes when we have teens, they're so busy with everything else, it's easy for them to get disconnected from books and reading. And that is really key to who they are and how they go about the world. We really need to be able to read for success in school and success in our future career. So being able to keep them engaged with books um, is really important to that endeavor. So having them visit the Teen Center, having them engage with the staff there keeps them hooked in, helps them find things that they're interested in, because often that's what the challenge can be, is that they are not finding the books, the topics, the characters, the stories that they're interested in. Thank you. Next slide. We offer personalized recommendations, and many of our public libraries do, whether that's in person. We happen to have a way via our website that no matter what time, we always say that our website is our location that never closes. So you can jump on at 11 o'clock at night when all of our locations are closed, and you can ask for personalized recommendations. As I just shared with teens, sometimes it's hard to keep up with what everybody's reading and trying to find that next great book, or maybe your middle grade reader. So middle grade is about fourth to seventh grade ish. They're reading and devouring in their reading series that they really enjoy, but they're having trouble finding that next series. You can reach out to the librarians and we can recommend great things, or maybe they have to read a particular type of book for a school assignment, a mystery, a biography. we can help connect you with some good books that we think they're going to enjoy. And we can offer a nice, robust list to help get you on your way. And that comes right to your email. Thank you. Next slide. We also have this feature again, many libraries do, called Ask a Librarian. It's available through our website, so you can ask all kinds of things. If you need extra help with a school assignment, that's a place. And it's not just for grown-ups or adults or teens can use it, kids can use it. We have kids sometimes write in and they're working on a science project or they need more information. So it's another way to engage with librarians or information professionals and get the resources that you need. And we are so happy to make that happen because we do think that we want people to come to the library and find success and find what they're looking for easily. So we always want to be facilitators in making that happen. So our library, and I know many libraries across our state, have incredible free programs. So this is one that I just highlighted that's coming up this week at our Richland Library North Main location. We are a library. You do not have to have a library card or live in Richland County to attend any of our programs. So you can come, put your PJs on, and watch Polar Express and make some crafts and eat some snacks. So, again, whatever you might be interested in, check out your local library, and there may be a program or some way to engage in that interest with your library. We also happen to have really great blogs, a variety of different topics. We have a coordinator, excuse me, who puts some really awesome recipes on our blogs. But this happens to be one that we just posted. If you still got a few people to buy for, especially kids, we've got some great holiday reads that you might consider because books are definitely that gift that we open again and again, and sharing a story together creates a memory that lasts a lifetime. I'm not trying to sound like a Hallmark card. I just really believe that it's true. Next slide, please. And we also have all kinds of resources that you can engage with to get that homework done. So we want to be the place where you think of for fun and entertainment. We also know that there's a real purpose that we serve in terms of helping support. So like Britannica's a really steady Eddie in terms of like it's just a dependable place. It's the encyclopedia, but it's online and it can help get you started on those research projects. Tutor.com is really great for like middle and high school. So if they are they're in those upper math courses and they're having challenges. And if you're like me, it's been a little while since I've explored trigonometry, so I would have trouble answering those questions. Tutor.com is a great place where they can engage and get the help that they need. The tutors are vetted and it's safe if it's completely anonymous between the tutor and the student. And if any identifying information is transmitted, then the tutor shuts the system down and takes erases everything so that way it stays anonymous. But you can identify if there's a tutor that you like, you can kind of stick with them. If they really explain that trigonometry problem just right for you, you can go back to them and get them to explain. Now, as I always tell students, they'll explain it for you, but they won't do your homework for you. This is also a really great resource if you have whether it's essays for high school classes or middle school classes, or maybe it's college essays, those entrance essays that they ask you to write. There's a way that you can download your essay to tutor.com and then you can get feedback on it. I think it takes about 24 to 48 hours, but that's a really great resource that we try to highlight because it is really nice to have somebody who is not connected to you to read it and give you some really good feedback and to make your essay better, whether it's a research paper or your college entrance essay. EBSCO Learning Express is just a way that you can practice those skills. It starts about fourth grade and up, but if you need a little extra practice in math or reading, that can be really helpful. EBSCO also offers things like practice SATs and things like that. So, again, with your library card, all of these resources are free. And I believe most of them, not Transparent Language Online, but I think Learning Express and Tutor.com is offered statewide through our state library. Um, Transparent Language Online, I checked today and I wasn't able to do a deep dive in, but they do offer a lot of language learning, and I was really delighted to discover. I suspected, but I confirmed for myself today that they do have an American Sign Language option on their offered, and I went in and kind of started that course. So it's great, it's interactive. You can log in so you can chart your progress, and there is a video component so you can actually see, just like Larissa's doing right now, you can actually see the signs being made and kind of practice yourself. So, and they start actually with finger spelling and learning the alphabet. So, again, totally, if you're in Richland Library, Transparent Language Online, you just need your library card and Wi-Fi access in your device, and you can access it. So, again, many of our libraries offer the opportunity to, which is great because we're about to enter the season of travel. Let's say you get to grandma and grandpa's house and you've forgotten to bring some good books because there's so many things to pack. Again, if you've got, I read a lot. I don't know if you can see my phone, but I read a lot from my phone. It's not the ideal way to read with your children, but it will get you through in a pinch if you need something. So you can stream down and download great books. You can also do TV shows and graphic novels also is a way that I really like reading graphic novels, either through Hoopla or through our Libby app. So again, it's just another way for you. And I know that it saves some people in a pinch when they've traveled and forgotten to pack books to read. So I wanted to just touch base to talk a little bit about our early literacy skills. So I love our little one here. I believe these skills are the things that we need to kind of feed our mind. So that's why I have her on the screen. These are the things that we can bring in as parents. And so when we talk about early literacy, we're really talking of like that birth to about 4, 5. Um, it changes and it grows with them as they're growing and developing their skills. Things are coming online. So reading is pretty self-explanatory. Finding time to read every day, and we'll talk a little bit. I've been able to do a little bit of a dive into if you're reading and signing at the same time, or reading and your child might be needing to lip read. There are ways to do that. There's probably many of you could probably tell me exactly how you do that because you're doing it regularly at home. But the practice of reading is, no matter how it happens, is one that is not to be missed. Singing, they've been doing studies, and by they, I mean researchers at places like Cambridge and Oxford and other institutions about how we kind of take on language early on. We know that our brains are wired for language. So singing is one of the ways that we really are able to take on and learn the smaller sounds of language. Um, they originally thought that babies just picked it up from conversation, but singing really plays a part. And I think singing and signing can do some of that same thing because we are, or singing just period, because your mouth gets moving more and we're able to kind of focus and see how those sounds are made. So whether you have a child that is signing or a child that is lip reading or a child that is speaking, they can really benefit from the what happens when we sing, which is kind of those exaggerated sounds. If there's anybody that has a fairly new baby, there's that thing too that's like singing that's called parentese. That's what researchers call it. And it's when we talk like this to our little one and we kind of stretch everything out. And so it really helps them kind of hear those sounds and it gives us that practice. Talking, however we're communicating, whether we're talking verbally or we're signing, that is so important because talking brings so much to us, and being able to have the opportunity to talk back. Um, that's a really key thing. I always tell parents and caregivers, especially for those little ones, 5 minutes a day where you put everything down and you just listen in whatever way, whether they're signing to you or they're talking to you. You really hear what they have to say and you pay attention. It gives them that great practice. The other thing we're able to do when we slow down with them is we give them those, especially when they're beginning to talk or sign and they only know so many words or signs, we're able to give them more. If we either more words, maybe we describe, um, or we give them more signs. So it's a really, really powerful exchange, this talking with each other. Playing, there's so much that happens in play, so many words happen, so much communication. We learn how to work together, whether it's parent and child or two children playing together. They really develop a lot of literacy skills through play. And then writing, and writing takes a little while to come online, of course, because it does take time for for your hands to develop, for them to be able to get the grip needed to write. But of course, having those big giant crayons and big pieces of paper so they can start making the scribbles early on is really, really important. And so we talk about these. These are the 5 practices of early literacy. And I'm going to we'll look at the next slide. Perfect. And I use this image because I think books light up. They light the way. And so when we read aloud, one of the big things that happens, and this really is parents, there's nobody else that can do this but you, um, is you grow their print motivation. Meaning when they sit with you and read, they sit with their favorite person in the world and they share an awesome story. It makes them want to read more and more. And we are pleasure seeking creatures. And so when we find something pleasurable, like sitting together and reading, we want to do it more and more. So that creates a love of reading right away. Um, Whether you realize it or not, you create print awareness every time you open a book. You show them how to hold the book right side up. You show them that typically in Western literature, it is different when we talk about manga and other Asian literature, that the words go from left to right, and that's how we turn the pages. And so we also understand, the flow of things. So it grows a lot of you're growing a lot of skills just by actually showing them how you use the book, how you read the book. Letter knowledge. The more that they're able to see text, and we have lots of text rich environments, so we can point out one of the best things to do is to point out the first letter of their name because we love our name, right? So, being able to see that, but letter knowledge is knowing that an A looks different than a B. And so being able to kind of see those. Um, Reading gives us narrative skills. We understand the structure of a story. It may be a very simple story, but we understand that it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Vocabulary. Books provide more rare words than conversation or watching television. So being able to hear those, and the other things that books do is often they give us those words in the context of a story. So unlike taking something like flashcards, for example, which we could learn that word, but it's much easier. Yeah, exactly, Larissa. um, it's we are able to see it. For example, in the book My Car by Byron Barton, we talk about pedestrians and we see them waiting on the corner to cross. And I've had 2.5-year olds talk about pedestrians because they heard that word or saw that word in that book. The last thing that books can help us do is it helps us understand that just like we were talking about those decodable books, that words are made up of smaller sounds. So when we talk about being able to break those down to understand and decode them, that's what we mean is being able to understand that if you say the word chalk, that CH works together. So um, all that happens as we read and read and read aloud. It gives us more and more practice. And as I was doing some reading, and I've got some hopefully helpful resources for everyone, the I feel like children who anybody that has any challenges, and there's lots of children that have challenges to their reading journey for lots of different reasons. The more they have exposure to books and reading aloud, especially with parents and caregivers, the more successful they will be because even when it's hard, they will love it enough to keep going. Next slide, please. All right. As promised, and I had a great time, and I'm going to be adding to some of these lists. We've got some lists that you can find here at Richland Library, and we'll see those pop up in just a second. But there's a list of picture book. They're picture books, they're both fiction and nonfiction, and they feature deaf and hard of hearing characters. And no worries if we can't get that. I can, oh, they're the perfect. Um, I will just say, generally in the world of picture books, and when we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, and how it appears, excuse me, in picture books, we're seeing more and more books being written thoughtfully and with the lived experience. So, whatever that experience is, whether it is being deaf or hard of hearing, or if it is being native or indigenous. So we're seeing a lot more of these books produced, and it's really, really exciting. Um, there were some new ones here. And then we also have some really great chapter books, middle grade, and graphic novels. So it's exciting to see more and more of these books be available. One of the things when we talk about children's literature, and really any kind of literature for that matter, is it provides the opportunity for mirrors and windows and sliding glass doors because everyone deserves to see themselves in stories. We all need to see each other if that's not our lived experience, to get a window into our neighbor's lived experience so we have a better understanding. These books help us grow empathy. And we also, sliding glass doors just give us that better understanding. I learned a lot and I still remember it. And I think people look at El Defo, which we just saw on the list by CC Bell. I learned a lot about her experience as a hard of hearing person and how that journey was different for her than probably other people. And it was really, when we actually had the opportunity to host her, it was just really, really interesting and gave me insight into an experience that I haven't lived. So it just really opened my eyes to her perspective of things. And kids love that book and really see um, her hard of hearing and her hearing aid that she uses as a superpower. And that's how it's portrayed in the book. And I really do love that. Um, okay, our next slide is how can we help? As I said, we're a library and we've got many wonderful things that make us more accessible and more inclusive, but we're always looking to make sure that we're doing um, exactly what our community needs for to be able to access the library. So we do have this, and it's appearing now on a lot of programming, but if you need accommodations, whatever that might be, and we do have a variety, whether it's an interpreter or access to hearing loops, we can certainly make that happen. We do need a little bit of time for interpreters because it takes just a tiny bit of time so usually it's 2 weeks, so we can just make sure that we've got everything in place. I have, if you look to the right there, you see the lovely Rebecca F. Kwong, who was just here. She's a New York Times bestseller, and we had sign language interpreters at her event. And then I just gave an example because I know I'm talking to many families. We have the wonderful Columbia Children's Theater. They just performed Frog and Toad all year long with us. And that's another a venue where we could have an interpreter. So if you know that you are interested, let us know. We are trying to like match getting interpreters with interest from the community. So please feel free to reach out to us and let us know what you're interested in. And some great resources. So there is a link on each image too, but I can tell you briefly the ASL Stories Directory is a great list of being able to see lots of stories that are read through American Sign Language. So it was a really great resource. I was unaware of it, and I saw a really, really charming young person tell where the wild things are, which is one of my favorites. And she had a wolf hat and everything, and it was very animated. So if you're looking for some opportunities to see more stories in ASL, that is a great resource. And I think they're probably adding to it. There's some other really good resources on that page. I've been a longtime fan of Reading Rockets, and I'll be sure to share these resources with Jocelyn so she can share them out with you. But they have a whole section about reading and writing and deaf and hard of hearing children. So it is an awesome resource that addresses many questions, real questions that parents have. So I was delighted to see that as an option. And then, yes, I will pause for a second and see if there's any questions. And not seeing any questions, this is my contact information. You are welcome to reach out to me, and I am happy to answer questions or connect you to resources. As I said, I'll make sure that Jocelyn has all the resources that I mentioned, the links to send with you, and also the links to those book lists. And yes, that's it. Thank you so much for hosting me tonight. I really appreciate the chance to connect with you.
Thank you so much, Heather. This is Jocelyn. We greatly appreciate this information. And like you said, this is for the Richland area, but all of our libraries across the state are making that community to community connection. It really should be an extension of home, seeing all of the vibrant pictures and the comfortable settings. We want our children to know it's a safe place to come, and you could be anywhere in the world with a book. You know, your world expands from Columbia, South Carolina, the state of South Carolina, to beyond through the literature. And I know as we approach the holidays and traveling, my family definitely enjoys the Libby app and the Hoopla for travel. And we usually select a book because our trip is 8 hours long. And for my daughter, it's helpful with those apps. When we're listening to it, we can adjust the speed on the
Nice.
story, which is also very good for our children. It, like you said, slow down and do that teasing, but it helps them listen. Um, so a lot of great information and resources. I will definitely link these out to our community. But again, thank you for the partnership. We thank our interpreter, Larissa, and our closed captioner. And I'm going to stop the recording, but thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.